What? It's 5:30.
No.
I got my ballot and everything.
I know. I can't wait to fill mine out.
Oh, now it's recording.
Oh, that's the other thing. Are you taking it? Are you going to send it, or are you going to take it to a place?
I am gonna send it because I'm going to Las Vegas for election day to do voter.
Oh, right. Can't you like bring it early to like one of the city clerk or something though?
I could bring it to the registrar's office, I believe, but I think I'm either going to drop it. I'm just gonna drop it in the mail or put it in a one of those ballot drop boxes.
Yeah. Ballot drop box.
But if you mail it, like you're supposed to, in order to guarantee that it'll arrive on time if you're using the U.S. Postal Service, I believe they said to mail it by October 20th.
Yeah, and I'm gonna send mine this weekend.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, same here early.
Yeah, everyone's like, I don't like what's his name, oh God, what's that called? James Carville. But he wrote this article today that was still comforting, where he was like, "You liberals are crazy. There's no way Biden's gonna lose." He's like, "There's all these metrics. It's gonna be a landslide." I was like, okay, well, I don't know if I believe that, but it's nice to read.
Yeah.
Right.
I
We
said
thought that last time too.
I did think it last time.
There's no fucking way this
Yeah.
racist that's talking like from the damn 50s.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, what? It's like,
Yeah, right.
Well, it wasn't Goldwater, it was the other guy, the Wallace.
George
Wallace?
There was only two times in history where the Dixiecrat voted not Democrat or Republican, because it was always Democrat, right? And then until the civil rights, it turned Republican. But there were a couple of times.
Nixon, they went. But yeah, the Dixiecrats went and joined the Republicans with Nixon.
Yeah.
But I think the South went for Carver. I think that was like an anomaly because he was Southern.
And there was some other one. It was Goldwater and Wallace, I think, were the other two that took those four. I forget. It's like a certain little amount of states, the Dixiecrat states, Mississippi and all those. Anyway,
it's amazing if like we could like turn Georgia and stuff,
That's just a toss up right now, which is so exciting. Can you fucking imagine? Sorry, I didn't mean to curse.
I hear you.
That'd be incredible.
Woo!
Get tech when Texas is blue, that'll be nice.
Yes.
It is already. They just don't get counted yet.
Yeah.
So let's work on same thing as last week where we're dropping the shoulders. And the reason being is because you're dropping the shoulders and there's a slight the thing with the back with the muscles in back here. Doing that lightly too, so that you're letting the shoulder go here, and you're letting the shoulder go, this way. But you just do it real lightly, real subtly, But anyways, so just one round of just dropping the shoulders, moving around, just some basic footwork, but all dropping the shoulders because we're gonna work that basically the whole time, even with the punches, and try to figure how to time the punch with that. But not in this round. We'll do that in all the other rounds. This round, just dropping the shoulders.
No punches yet?
Nah.
Okay.
And then you have your hands up and let them go, if you want. Let them just do what they want, but nah, no, none of this. It's good to practice having your hands up and dropping the shoulders. You just gotta make sure that your shoulders are this loose when you're doing it though, like all the way loose. What you're actually doing is you're dropping all the blood and energy for a second into the legs. So when you do that, you don't want to hold it up here, you want to let it all go to the legs, to the ground first. you're done with a hop, you can also just do it this way. Just, as long as you're dropping the shoulders. If I feel like you're hanging from a string, all the weight's right around here and into the leg. So the spine stretches out a little bit. Hanging from a string, but kind of sitting down too at the same time. Okay, next round we'll do that usual jab step. Can be done at any kind of intensity, whether it's here or here. But really focus on dropping the, not only just dropping the shoulders, but just trying to, that thing I was talking about where like you're hanging from a string, kind of sitting down. So you're always kind of like trying to have your spine in a real comfortable position. Even if you're twisting here, you know, the spine is still like, you don't really have to do this. You can do that too. You can kind of do that with the spine too as well, but for the most part, it's like you're hanging from a string. So it's just really just trying to make it so you're emphasizing the legs all even a little bit more. That make sense?
Yep.
Oh, cool. There you go. Drop the shoulder, make sure you're sitting down on all the moves. So it's the same thing, you're still dropping the shoulders. You just let it, right, as opposed to being locked or anything, you're still dropping. Remember, you can just walk with it too, especially if you're doing a slight circle around them. And the idea is you just time it all off the back leg. So like a delay, but as soon as that back leg lands, that's where you let it go. Instead of going here, instead of going here, you're going here, right? But you can really throw it anywhere in between there as well. Mix it up. Because it's a jab, so it doesn't really rely on power so much anyway, as much. But loose, drop the shoulders, and just grab with the wrist, hand, and forearm. All right, same thing on the other side. Right hand. Once again, remember, focus on dropping the shoulders and sitting down. Hanging from the string, dropping the shoulders, just sitting down. And the pandemic has done wonderful things for my southpaw side. Southpaw stance.
We were just talking about that last class.
Say again.
We were just talking about that last class, that it's a good time to work on switching stances and getting comfortable with that.
No doubt. No doubt. And it's just when you're doing certain footwork over and over and over and over and over, you got to, even if you don't do it symmetrical, you got to do it on the other side sometimes.
Yeah, all the muscle memory.
And now is the best time, really.
Well, it's not that cool either to be like, you know, boxing and then you like land up in your wrong stance and you're like, oh, I can't do anything.
You're right. That's true. That's true.
You're like, hold up, I gotta get back to my stance. No punch.
Hold on for a second. The cool thing is when you really work on the other side, is you can like sometimes not do the same bad habits that you're doing in the other side.
Totally.
You end up being better at certain things, you know.
I haven't reached that stage yet.
You might on some things though. I always see it in my students. There's certain moves that they try to do it backwards, or myself too, and I do it better because I don't have the bad habit or whatever.
Right.
Sometimes my roundhouse kicks are better on the left. I will say that.
That's common. Yeah, a lot of people have days where their other side roundhouse kick is better. Because it's not as tired.
Right. And my hip is like less messed up on that side.
Yeah, this leg is just not used to that. No matter how much I do, it's really hard to get used to the same stresses this way. But it's catching up little by little, which is good. So let's I'm gonna work off of those angles, but maybe something a little more specific. So first we'll do 2 rounds of the same we've been doing for a couple of weeks, which is the work on bringing the back jab step, but you're gonna bring the step and then pivot. All right, bring the step, pivot. And do that before a little bit before you do any punches. Just bring the leg, pivot. Like defense, right? So it's like bring the leg and slip. You want to slip them just enough, not too much, not too little, right? So relax and get in that state where it's like you're in that state where you see when you're sparring somebody and you just see everything they're doing coming. You know, so y'all have had those moments, right? Where it's just like. And you can just slip. So think yourself in that state where you're just there. Bring the back leg, slip. And again, bring the back leg, slip. And you're slipping by moving the front foot. And then start working after 30 seconds, a minute, start letting whatever you want to do, let go. But it's all this roll here, right? Turning here, using the waist like a steering wheel. So bring the back leg, and then turn. Right. right? And then you're gonna turn. Let's see. And let your punches go. Right. Make sense? So really emphasize this part though. This a few times before you start letting your hands go. The idea is keep your attention, even though you're doing all this, your attention's still in the ground. Doesn't come up, you know, only like for split seconds when you grab. And even then, you want to be pushing into the ground somewhat. If the back leg is killing you after a minute, you're doing it right. You should really feel it right away, the back leg. Using that steering wheel to get your waist like this out of the way. Oh, it's getting out of your own way. And the punch is slightly delayed. Remember, there's someone in front of you, you're timing them just right. Give them a layer of your skin, take off their head, right? Just slip them, but then they're right here, right? Just slip them, but then they're right here. And there's that little delay. Slip, right? Slip, slip. Same exact thing, same thing, other side. Start a little slower on the other side, if you're not comfortable with that side. Get yourself in, turn. Timing them just right, so even imagine their arm is still there, and you take like, you slip them, and then take them off balance. Or slip, slip, take them off balance, okay? But first, don't even punch, just here, slip, 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 all right. Make yourself real comfortable. Oh, in this area here, you want to put yourself in positions. It's all about position. Just put yourself in a position where you're real comfortable, real comfortable. Don't worry about the punch. The punch is either going to throw itself or it's not gonna throw. But don't worry about it. You just have your hands in place and work the body, moving, moving. Someone just join. I
No,
can't
so
tell.
my email in the background.
Oh, okay, okay. I can't tell with my phone. I'm usually having the computer.
No, I'm sorry, that was me.
All right. So let's work on we'll work off of that, and that you were going here, pivoting. But actually, you know what? Let's go the opposite direction first. So we're working these ones. We start with the left hook, but it's off of the front leg. So instead of doing this, bringing this and then pivoting, it's the opposite. Bring this leg back. Sorry. Bring this leg back and then pivot. Right. And just work that for a minute without any punching. Just you're pushing the back leg back, right? You push, but as soon as you step, you pivot or pivot. And try to have it kind of at least 45 degrees, even more if you're going to pivot out this way, right? So that front foot 45 degrees, so the pivot's real easy this way. So anyway, bring the leg, pivot, pivot, pivot. Do it nice and slow. You don't really want to mess with your knee that much, so it's worth it just to go just real comfortable, right? When I feel like there's a hinge there, and just move around that, so you don't really stress the knee at all. Do it right. Here. Bring the leg, pivot, 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 and then you're gonna pivot, 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 that kind of thing, right? Either pivot and get out your way, or pivot and get out your way, or you can do both. You know, pivot, pivot, or pivot, pivot, pivot. This way. Make sense?
Yeah.
So really take your time. Keep the shoulders dropping the whole time. It's all about really putting yourself in a real comfortable position. The more of a comfortable position you're in doing all that stuff, the exchanges, the less comfortable they are, basically. You know, that's kind of a funny aspect you don't always focus on, but it's definitely a real it definitely works in fighting. It's definitely important, you know. Also, you have to you don't necessarily have to give ground real easy. You have to make them push through, like you go to here, but now they got to push to get over here, or they got to push you over there, right? Those are my favorite when you can really, someone comes in real strong, you know, and you let them just about get you, and just this way, right? So right when they run into you, just let them, you turn them. Right? You catch them in a position where they have to turn to you. But more than likely, against a good fighter, you'll be doing little ones. Especially in this one, you have a little bend in there too. So even though you're doing this stuff, you can always bend a little, sit down a little for the uppers. Or even on the other side too. All right, same thing on the southpaw side. Keep dropping the shoulders, just bringing the leg with you. Pivot. If it's not the leg you're comfortable doing that with, go a little slower, especially at first. Oh damn, she's probably gonna plug this thing in. Oh no, I just realized I forgot to bring a charger in here.
No.
Let me see. Oh, you know what? Let me run next door. I think, but she probably has one there. Give me one sec. Sorry about that.
Okay, why don't you give us a round to do?
Yeah, I was gonna say you can work the same kind of thing. It's like when you're going pivoting, but just do it backwards so you can do whatever kind of rhythm you want, but you can walk backwards doing the same kind of pivots. Think of it like this. You have a ball around you and someone's pushing at you, right? So you just keep them out there. They got to push the outside of the barrel, and that's just gonna roll you into your move. So they have to. Does that make sense?
Yep.
They have to push you back and just. It's the waist. The waist is what, like they got to push. As when they push that turns your waist. It's all connected, right? So you're doing. That makes sense, or not necessarily?
Yep.
All right, cool. And then put a little dip of the hip in there as you're going back if you're doing the upper. Okay. I'll be back in a minute.
Cool. So you set the timer. I'll set a timer.
I think I'm not doing push-up sets.
Okay. Guess we don't need a timer.
There we go. 3%. Got it just in time.
Been dangerously.
Right. I hear you. So let's work since we're working that same concept of, the circle, right? So it's like you pivot here, and then you can pivot off of this leg. Let's mix that together. And this basic step here, where you can play with that however you want, but it's just this really. You're doing this step that we're just doing. And go and bring the back leg first, just because, that's any chance you get to do that, it's good. Because we've already worked these for years, right? It's really about bringing that back leg with some power, getting it under you, then pivoting. Or same thing with this one, getting it under you, then pivot. So we're gonna work that. We're gonna work off the back leg. Just bring the back leg with you, pivot, right? But then you can work off of either of the angles too as well. So you're gonna go pivot, however you want, however many times, doesn't matter, right? With this step, and then you can either pivot off to this side, but when you do, you try to pivot a couple times, right? Or off this side, this way, and same thing, you try to, you can just fall off either way, that's perfectly fine too, you can do it however you want, like go over this angle and just fall off this way, try and do something else, like keep going, that's perfectly fine, right? Pivot out here, fall off this way, just keep going. But try to most of the time, try to just make it where it's not obvious, kind of like Lomachenko moves or something, you know, where he'll go and just pivot, pop, 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 pivot, but he's still pivoting. Then he moves, right? Pivot and then pivot back this way, pivot back off the back leg into the front. So just really just mainly a lot of angles, a lot of circles. Take your time and just try to feel on balance and comfortable the whole time as you're doing it. Right. So that makes sense, kind of freestyle angles.
Yep.
But mainly based off of just this and this. Right. Only you do bring the legs with you a little if you can. It's much more dynamic in the legs that way. It doesn't look like it, but you'll feel it. It's a lot more work. All right. It can be off of either side. I mean, we can mainly go off of the regular side here, but in general, it can be off of since we're doing these kind of angles, you can really go wherever you want with it. Just keep going back to the basics. Do whatever you want with it. Keep it basic. You might notice as you're doing this, when you get real comfortable with it, going on the other side is just real easy. It's real easy to slip the shots in on the other side. Because if you're on balance, they'll throw themselves, really. When you take those pivots, you just give yourself so many different more angles, you know? So many more, what I mean to say is more opportunities, more openings you see. Once you move a little bit, you see things from a different angle. You'll see a lot of things you didn't see before, right? All right, same thing. Starting on the other side, but same basic moves, really. Still off of the here. Freestyle, but just starting on the other side. But you can do the same moves. It doesn't really matter. You can do whichever side you want. Just mainly focusing, starting here. Let me see what time it is real quick. Oh, we got 3 minutes. Let's do a cool down round. Just same basic thing, just go through the angles, cool. Just a little slower. Focus on the balance, slowing it down, a little more comfortable. And not really pushing it, just trying to be comfortable in that range of motion. You know? As comfortable as possible turning here. Want to have the hips as loose as possible. Almost like a dance when you're doing this part. You know? Same here. Timing is always more important than power, right? Or timing beats speed, speed beats power is the basic thing. It's timing. Relax, comfortable. And just timing everything. Not too fast, not too slow, not too soon, not too late. Just comfortable. Like you're fighting somebody underwater. You got that moment to completely adapt to it. Feel yourself slipping the punches just barely, or even taking away their balance by doing that. Like slip, turn, make them fall over because like you trap them basically. But just right, not too fast, not too slow. Sitting down the whole time. Oh, by the way, I guess have a good week.
Thanks to all you too. Thanks for class.
Oh, no problem. Good luck with handling all the news every 5 minutes. seems like every half hour there's a major thing in the news.
At least there's not going to be another debate.
Oh, thank God.
I was looking